I wonder what game I should play. Mario Superstar Baseball. Story mode's a little too hard. Kirby Air Ride. Considerable. Crash Wrath of Cortex. Probably. Sonic Mega Collection. Definitely considerable. Crash Nitro Kart. Always has been one of my favorites. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. People give this game a lot of praise. Beautiful Joe. Great platformer. Well, I hope you all know those games by heart, and or owned those games, and know them by heart immediately. Which game is your favorite? I'm dying to know. Hey guys, Brady here. Welcome back to Brady's Talks, where I review certain games. Today, we have a console. Another console. Anyways, end of the N64 era. It was sort of a disappointing state at the time. I mean, when you think about it, the N64's lifespan had to have ended around 2000 or so. We can't have low poly games going on until 2017 or something like that. So, Nintendo had to release another console. So there's that. So today, the review is the Nintendo Gamecube. One of my first consoles ever. So, let's do it. So, Gamecube, whilst being a great console, it had a ton of good games on it. Okay, I know. The PS2 sort of crushed it, but both game consoles are great. Let's just say that. PS2 and GameCube were great. So let's talk about some of the games. The spin-offs for Mario. I'm telling you, man, these spin-offs were just crazy. Mario Kart Double Dash, Mario Superstar Baseball, I'm thinking, Mario Strikers, Mario Party 4, 5, 6, 7. There were 4 Mario Party games on this system. With the first 3 being on N64, 4, 5, 6, and 7 being on the GameCube. That's too many Mario Parties, if you ask me. Kirby Air Ride. Even though we didn't get a platforming adventure like we were supposed to back in the days, it was the one that turned into Return to Dreamland and eventually became Star Allies. Yeah, that one. We did get a small little spin-off, Air Ride. It was an interesting time, nonetheless. It was a great spin-off, probably in the top 5 of the best Kirby spin-offs. If you want me to do that, let me know. Legend of Zelda had so many games on that system. Twilight Princess, while being an interesting Zelda game, it was not perfect. It had some flaws, but it was definitely a good time. I'm not kidding. Wind Waker. Did you know that some people were actually thinking that cel-shaded style was going to be the style for the entire series? Well, Nintendo proved them wrong by releasing Twilight Princess for the GameCube. Good job, Nintendo. Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventures. Continuing the 4 Swords series. Interesting. It did require a GBA to GameCube adapter. Like, what the frick is that? A Game Boy Advance to GameCube adapter. He had to use that for 4 Swords Adventures. Metroid Prime. The first two were on GameCube, and then came the third one on Wii. It was an interesting experience. I mean, Metroid in first person, imagine that. Super Smash Bros. Melee. People still play that game to this day. I'm telling you. Chibi Robo. It was a good series. I mean, if you think about it, this cute son of a gun is truly like the greatest miscellaneous Nintendo mascot besides Pikmin. Oh yeah, I forgot. They introduced us to Pikmin. Pikmin 1 and 2. Interesting puzzle games. And let's not forget Animal Crossing. That's right. Animal Crossing was introduced on the GameCube. It was a bombing success, obviously, sparking many sequels, like Wild World on DS, City Folk for Wii, and the latest, New Leaf for 3DS. There was no mainline Animal Crossing on the Wii U. We all know how that turned out. Freaking Amiibo Festival. Blech. But sooner or later on the horizon, we'll be getting a new Horizon on the Switch. You get the pun? There were a ton of other stuff too, especially the third parties. Oh my god. Sonic Mega Collection. That was my childhood back there. That was my very first experience with Sonic games. And then of course you had Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Pretty interesting ports. Sonic Riders. That was a nice little spin-off. And even Shadow got his own main game. Shadow the Hedgehog. Featuring guns, motorcycles, aliens, random minor cursing. Mwah! Beautiful. Pitfall: The Lost Expedition. Whilst also being on other consoles, it was a sort of new take on the Pitfall series. It's definitely better than Super Pitfall. We don't talk about that crap. Pac-Man World had 2 games on it. 2 and 3 was on the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox. It was a good time nonetheless. Pac-Man Fever. Whilst not being a good Pac-Man game, it was a fun little party game at the time. Sonic Heroes. Great multiplayer. And an amazing storyline. With many teams to play as. Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. Oh yeah, the bongo controller. Boom, boom, boom. It really just reinvented Donkey Kong mechanics. It was terrible, I know, but it was a great little mechanic at the time. Resident Evil. It was a cool little time to get Resident Evil games on Nintendo systems, finally. Trying to think. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. Oh my freaking god. That game was freaking incredible. Just straight up incredible. People adore it to this day. And then came the Wii U and we got Color Splash. I don't know if we can talk about that one. And Sticker Star, which was an okay installment. Beautiful Joe, like I said. Really good indie platformer by Capcom. It was a nice little time for Capcom on the GameCube. F-Zero GX, the last game in the series. Pretty upsetting, actually. And, yeah. Those are all the games that I could think of. Also, it introduced us to, it introduced us to Monkey Ball, Super Monkey Ball. By the way, are you guys excited for the new Banana Blitz HD remake on Switch? Ooh boy, I'm so excited. It introduced us to the Game Boy Player, which allowed you to play Game Boy Color games, and Game Boy Advance games on the big screen, which was a nice little tidbit at the time, but it sort of failed. So, overall, it was a nice little system, which is why I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 for it being a interesting console. I mean, the PS2 sort of crushed it, but it was a nice little console altogether. This has been Brady at the Bunch. Oh, and it also introduced us to Game Boy games on the big screen and brought a ton of Google franchises like Chibi Robo, Animal Crossing, Metroid Prime, Pikmin, so many franchises. This has been Brady at the Bunch with Mewtwo, Chibi Robo, and Tom Nook. Which one's your favorite? I know most of you will pick Chibi Robo because you guys like Chibi Robo, don't you? I hope so. Anyways, with my review of the Nintendo Gamecube. The amazing system. See you soon for another probably game or console review. Sayonara.